Happy Wednesday, everyone. On this Holy Week, I'm Pastor Noel, and we are on Common Ground in a new location, a new clue in the great silver Easter egg hunt on Common Ground. And we're ready for our next part of the Easter story. Now, yesterday we were with Jesus and his disciples in the upper room where Jesus washes the disciples' feet as a servant. Now, in that same upper room, they shared a meal. Sometimes we call it the Last Supper, but it was the Passover meal. Now, the Passover meal was a meal that God commanded the Jews to celebrate every spring at a particular time to remember how God had rescued them, their ancestors, from slavery in Egypt and brought them out miraculously to the Promised Land, a land of their own. So every part of this Passover meal means something, and particularly it's meant to remind them of how God, on the night before they were liberated, they were freed. God asked them to sacrifice a lamb, and to take the blood of that lamb and to paint it over their doorpost, and that way the angel of God would know, that they were there, and it would keep them safe. And then in that first Passover, that on that same evening, they were to eat that lamb, and so that became an important part of the Passover meal, along with bread and herbs and different things. So Jesus will host that last Passover meal with his disciples, but he does something strange. Typically, each thing in the Passover meal is to remember something that God did long ago in Egypt. But Jesus, when he takes the bread, he blesses it, he breaks it, as everyone did at a Passover meal. But then he says something strange. He says, "This is my body, which is broken for you. As often as you eat this, do this in remembrance of me." He's asking them not just to remember long ago when God rescued them, but now he's talking about himself and something that's about to happen, right? And maybe God's going to continue. Maybe it's connected. Maybe what God will do in the body of Jesus will be to save, to rescue people. Now, at the end of the meal, Jesus takes the cup, the last cup, and he blesses it, as you would do. He passes it to his disciples, but he says a strange thing. He says, "This is my blood, and it's poured out for you, and it's poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." He calls it the blood of the new covenant, the new way to be connected to God and to our neighbor. And again, so Jesus is not simply inviting them to remember back, but he is speaking about this new thing that God is doing, this new rescuing or saving that God will do for the people of Israel. In fact, for the whole world, but that God will do it through Jesus' body, even through his own blood, his life. Right? He's hinting at, pointing to his death on the cross.